And we are on the wrong screen and live. Welcome to the process. It is Monday, December 5th. I am Josh Engleman, and I am here to break down an 8-game NBA slate. I don't know what we did to the NBA to deserve a good slate for once. And now I have not looked at the games yet, so maybe it's an awful slate, but an 8-game slate nonetheless. We are here. Welcome everybody back after a weekend. Hope everybody had some fun playing football or whatever it is that you did this weekend. Even if you kept going on those NBA streets, I hope it went well for you guys. I'm going to move some windows around here. Let's get chat back up here at the top. There we go. It was a good weekend. I feel a little recharged, I guess. A little tired still today. Think it'll be, I'm going to get a good night's sleep tonight, but I'm feeling good. Yeah, I banned SMP. I banned you. Sorry, had to kick you out. Just had to do it. Can't take you anymore. Crispy, what's going on? Good morning to everybody. Hannah, Rob, AJ, everybody. Good morning, Gangrene. Good morning to everybody that's in chat. It's always great seeing the morning crew. I'm excited to break down this slate. I'm excited to play this slate. 8-gamer is the perfect balance. You just really can't ask for much more. We got 2 games starting at 7 o'clock, 2 games starting at 7:30, 2 games starting at 8 o'clock, a straight 8:30, and then a late night hammer that everybody's going to want a part of in the Indiana Pacers and the Golden State Warriors. The only problem with that Pacers game, if they weren't on a back-to-back, we would be able to really dig into it. But the Halliburton status will be very important and something that we're going to have some trouble truly breaking down. I mean, we're going to be projecting him in, I would imagine, but it's going to be one that like sort of hangs in the ether for a bit, unfortunately. But no, football, I didn't wake up hating the NFL today, which is nice. It's not like anything went. Is he already out? Brandon? Already out. Okay, never mind. That's going to be easy. I just assumed he was going to be a faux Q tag until we get an injury report at like 4:30 today. Awesome. Even better then. Perfect. Like I said, I have not looked at anything yet. My assumption was just that on a back-to-back, on a late game, they don't have to submit that injury report until 4:30. So we were just going to do dick all for assuming he was going to be in, but that's actually perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well, let's just get into it. I'm ready to talk some basketball. So good morning to everybody. I've got a coffee here. Actually, hit the like button first and foremost. If I haven't said it yet, do that now. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman too. That would be great. Now, got it right here. Coffee. Cannot wait. And I've been pretty happy now. Been doing a little podcast listening and reading that apparently if you can wait like an hour to 90 minutes before taking in any caffeine after you wake up, you don't have as much or any really of the caffeine crash. It has to do with the way that like some sort of receptor binds to the caffeine, which is pretty exciting because my alarm goes off at 5:10. I essentially get out of bed by 5:15, take a little bit of time to rub the sleep out of my eyes and stuff. So I get an hour and 15 minutes up to, close to the hour 30 based on how long I take for an intro. I take that long to have that caffeine. The only thing that I've had so far is a little bit of water. So I think I actually do that correctly every day, which is kind of exciting. So it's pretty nice. Thank you, Andrew Huberman, for that one. But I've got my coffee right here. I hope you guys have something. Coffee, tea, water, beer. If you're hitting a joint, go for it. That has not been a giant part of my life as of late. I miss it a little bit. We'll talk about that in the future. But for now, we're going to get into this. It's definitely not a food day. I had some wings and stuff last night. A little too spicy. Not like I eat too spicy of food or anything, but like my body knows that I had some spice on the late night, so I have no interest in food at this moment. All I want is coffee. Rise and grind, everybody. Really enjoy where I put that. That is just in the right spot. That is a very easy point. So rise and grind, everybody. The coffee is here. Join me today as we break down the NBA. Cheers. Yeah, that is an aces cup of coffee. Absolute aces. Whew. Shout out to BetMGM for being the sponsor. I got a little bit of a deal for you. We'll talk about that in a bit. We'll let you know what's going on at BetMGM before we run our crunches. Let's see. Let's go to that view and that view. Did I try the Nashville hot wings from Publix? I have not. I don't go to Publix all that often now. Before we moved to like a month before COVID started, basically. Or we were set to move a month before COVID. We actually moved in right at the beginning of April, like, peak COVID at that point. But we used to live right around the corner from the Publix, and now we don't. It's not my closest grocery store. It's not even my second closest grocery store. So I just don't go because it's less convenient now. But I will prioritize that. I'll check it out. All right, here we go. First game up. And it's already one that I don't know how much we're going to be able to do with. The Los Angeles Clippers are 2.5-point favorites in Charlotte. We have a 217 total, which is really gross. Oh, Rob, I'm still very close to the Publix. It just isn't my priority grocery store. So I can be there in 8 minutes, and it's really not a big deal. It's just not the one that's 2 minutes from my house. Josh has never had a pumpkin spice latte, nor would he. Paul George, questionable. Kawhi Leonard, questionable. Luke Kennard, questionable. Norm Powell, out. That's a real injury report, too. They didn't play yesterday. So I guess we start from scratch here and try to figure this out. There's no way Kawhi Leonard is playing 30 minutes. This is a guy that played 3 games in the middle of November, played 24, 22, 23. I'm going to 22 on Kawhi. Not that I have a great feeling about it. Now, Paul George, on the other hand, is a weird person. It's a right hamstring tendon strain, which makes me think that he's not playing a ton either. I just don't really know what the best mechanism is for projecting Paul George. Because my first blush is that I want to just go Paul George full bore, give him all the minutes. But he's missed 7 games with a lower body injury. And it just doesn't matter if he comes back and plays 36 minutes on a random Monday in Charlotte. So I'm also going to give Paul George 24 minutes. I hope, look, the only saving grace here is that this is the first game of the day. And we're just going to get the answer to this question, or at least pseudo answer to this question. My assumption is that the Clippers don't look good at all. So we'll go to Zubats, and I will say we're going to go 28 minutes to Zubats. We're going to get Marcus Morris in for 26. I think I'm going to go to 20 on Nick Batum. The Reggie Jackson, John Wall piece is pretty easy to manage. They don't do anything too crazy. I'm going to go 26 Reggie Jackson. Actually, Let's go 28 Reggie Jackson, 22 to Wall. I guess we got to bring Luke Kennard back. Luke Kennard has missed. Good God. And he got hurt on the 15th. He's missed 9 straight games plus basically the full 10th. So, I'm going to give Luke Kennard. I really do think that the Clippers are set to play everybody like a little bit. We'll go 20 to Luke Kennard. I'll go 24 to Terrence Mann. Norm Powell is just out, so that's kind of easy. I've projected Zubats, George, Jackson, Morris, Mann. There's no Powell. There's no Leonard. Amir Coffey would be the next guy. We've got John Wall and Batum in already. We've got Kennard in already. It's probably not Amir Coffey, though, because he tends to not play when everybody's around. I don't expect it to be Robert Covington, but who the hell knows? It could be. I'm just going to split those final minutes. I'm going to go 13 to Robert Covington and 13 to Amir Coffey. I really just think this team is going to be awful. I think that's the only way that we can really look at this with any sort of confidence. Now, I'm just going to add because we need a bigger sample. So I'm going to 3 years of the Clippers, and I just want to know, in games that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard played, what their usage rates have been. And then I'm just going to we're kind of just going to move on. So in games that Kawhi and Paul George have both played, we have... Oh, wow. I forgot I was running a 3-year query. I was wondering why it was taking so long. All right. They've played... Over the past 3 seasons, they've played 1,500 minutes together. That's just insane. 28% usage rate to Paul George. I'm going to go to 28.5 just to be safe. And 28% usage rate to Kawhi Leonard. Zubats, by the way, is at 14 in that time. So I'm just going to pop him in at 15. These guys have assist rates both at 7.5. Wow. 7.55 assists per 100 possessions for Paul George. 7.52 for Kawhi Leonard. Basically the exact same. So Kawhi goes to 7.5. Paul George goes to 7.5. And then rebounding rate, 8.5 for Paul George, 8 for Kawhi Leonard. So we'll go 8 to Kawhi, 8.5 to PG. And we're just going to call it a day there. Interesting going to Zubats against the Hornets because centers are a thing, as if salaries aren't a thing. Let's go to the Charlotte Hornets, though. For the Hornets. Actually, can I hear? I thought I could normally hear more music, but apparently I can't. Still no LaMelo Ball. Still no Gordon Hayward. No Cody Martin. No Dennis Smith. No Mark Williams. So... this should be pretty easy. We've seen this rotation for a while now. And other than that Monday where Terry Rozier missed, we do have a 4-ish game set. Why did Bryce... I added Bryce McGowens to this, and now for some reason it doesn't show up, and I don't know why. But I added Bryce McGowens. I must have accidentally closed my workbook one day and didn't know it. Anyway, Bryce McGowan's in. So I'm going to scratch this rotation and just start it over. And then we're going to start with... Who started this last game on Saturday? Just want to make sure I have that right. We got Rozier, McDaniels, Plumlee, Washington, Oubre. Okay, so just what I was thinking. So we're going to get Terry Rozier straight away in for 37 minutes. Backup point guard run to Teo Maledon. And then, oh man, we got to give Oubre 35 minutes. 34 minutes? 34 minutes. And then we've got to go to Mason Plumlee's piece. Should be pretty easy. He's playing 30 minutes a game now. I'm going to go 29-19 for Plumlee and Nick Richards. Gives me PJ Washington for 32. And it gives me Jalen McDaniels for 28. And the rest of this should fill itself out. Maledon plays a little bit more. So I guess, how many minutes did they play alongside of each other? They played 6 minutes alongside of each other, and let's go to OT, or yeah, he's just a crazy person. And then they played 12 minutes alongside of each other there. So let's take him up to 18. Looks a little bit better. So 18 from Maledon, at least so far. We'll get Bryce McGowan's in for... I'm just going to put 18 for right now, and we'll start spilling some of that over as we move forward. Who else are we missing? Kai Jones is playing like 16 minutes a game. I'm just going to give him the straight backup to PJ Washington. That leaves me 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they are playing 9 guys. So I guess I want to bump up every other one of those dudes. If I'm going to keep Kelly Oubre at 34, I guess I'm not. I'm going to make Kelly Oubre go to 35. I am going to give Terry Rozier 38. Terry Rozier is going to end up popping aggressively for me at this point. Jalen McDaniels in the 4 games since, or with DSJ out, since Gordon Hayward's been out, has been averaging 29. So I'm going to take him up to 29. Means that I actually do want to bump Bryce McGowan's up 2 more minutes to 20. I can't touch the Mason Plumlee, Nick Richards minutes because that's just 48. And then if I add PJ Washington and Kai Jones, that's just 48. So it all sort of just happens with those wing guys. I don't want to give anybody else those extra 4 minutes. So they're just going to go to James Bouknight as spillover on the off chance there's like a blowout or something. Rates all stay the same. That's definitely not something that needs to be changed right now. So I think we're good there. So let's look and see what we have. Oh, I never grabbed salaries. Okay. I knew I missed part of the morning. Let me grab those salary files. I have in whatever was in before. So let me just grab 2 quick salary files from DraftKings and FanDuel. All right, DraftKings, FanDuel, salaries. All right, there's FanDuel. And there's DraftKings. I was like, wow, that whole thing is blank. That's interesting. There we go. FanDuel is in. And apparently I didn't delete all of DraftKings, but I can handle that. DraftKings in. All right, now we could actually look and see how this looks. All right, boom, got it. Close those 2 windows now. All right, so there's a lot to like here for Charlotte. Obviously, I am very interested in Terry Rozier if he's playing 38 minutes a game, and it appears that Terry Rozier is going to play like 38 minutes a game. So Terry Rozier would be my favorite option across both sites, but Oubre, Washington, Mason Plumlee all look really good on DraftKings to me. Jalen McDaniels looks solid, if not unspectacular. But all 5 starters for the Charlotte Hornets are very much in play for today. On the Clippers side, I don't think that I would play anybody, at least not as of the way that it's presently constituted. Whether or not the Charlotte Hornets are a thing for centers, guys have salaries. Ivica Zubac is 6,600. His minutes have been coming down. And we're getting Paul George and Kawhi Leonard back. So there's that. 6,600 on DraftKings, 6,300 on FanDuel. I'm just going to go ahead and skip it. Teo Maledon. Oh, I didn't look at the price, SMP. Maledon, 4,800 on DraftKings, 5,100 on FanDuel. Yeah, you could project him for 32 minutes, and I don't think we would want to play him. All right, game number 2. The Milwaukee Bucks are 9.5-point favorites in Orlando. 225 total. Yikes for the Magic. For Milwaukee, Q-Tag Grayson Allen, Q-Tag Brook Lopez. Are they on a back-to-back? No. Is Brook Lopez really on the injury report? Or did I just not refresh this? There's no way they have him listed as Q-Tag rest. Holy shit, they really do. Okay. That's interesting. Fair enough, I guess. Fair enough. They are in Orlando. My man does love himself some Disney. So, I feel like I shouldn't project Brook Lopez in. Like, why would you ever list somebody with a Q tag for rest and not just rest them? You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing if it's an injury and you got to find out, but like, if you're willing to fill out an injury report to be like, we might rest Brook Lopez today, what in the world is going to happen for the Bucks? They're going to be like, nah, we're not going to do that. Is that true? If I look at the 11 a.m. injury report on Saturday, am I going to see Brook Lopez rest? Nope, they didn't have an injury report yet at that point. So if I look at the 4 p.m. Shit, how do they write the afternoon ones? Wow, they're funker. That is how they do it. 12. $12:03. Milwaukee Bucks, Brook Lopez, available rest. Holy hell. It's so weird. So they played him Saturday. I mean, today feels like the day that they should rest him, but now there's no way I'm taking him out. But like, I also, the moment that I don't take him out is very clear that he is going to not play. So let's look at Milwaukee then, which should be pretty cut and dry. We got Chris Middleton back for 26 minutes on Friday. Sat out the second half of the back-to-back. God, that coffee is so good today. So if Middleton was able to play 26 and a half that Friday, I'm at least taking him to 28. But I feel like they're just going to give him 30 today. If I give him 30 and just take like Wes Matthews down to 6 or something, is that enough? 30 for Brook Lopez, 33 for Drew, 33 for Giannis. 28 Grayson Allen, who's also questionable. He really is, Deacon. He really is. I'm just going to go with that for Milwaukee. Rates don't change. This is easy. And then we go to Orlando. I'm guessing it looks bleak. Okay, no Suggs, no Carter, no Harris, No Okiki, no Isaac. Still a Q tag on Bamba? Jesus, Mo Bamba's been questionable for the last 4 games. I'm tired of projecting Mo Bamba to play. But, like, you kind of have to. Questionable back pain. Is that what it says? Back pain. Okay, I'm just leaving him out, and I'm going to leave the same rotation we've been getting for Orlando. Now, that didn't work out as well for me on Saturday when I had all of the stupid Mo Wagner coming off of 36 minutes. But got Cole Anthony in for 28. Let's look at that rotation, too. What did they miss out on? Because they did not play well. Orlando on Saturday. Was that not Saturday? It was Saturday. Where the hell is Orlando? Why is this game not listed? So that was... Who the hell did they play? Orlando Magic played who? The Raptors. Why the hell does that game not show up? Orlando, Toronto. Nope. Toronto, Orlando. Nope. Add more funds it is. Yes, it was, SMP. Yes, it was. All right. Orlando, Toronto. All right. So Banchero's minutes I don't care about. Franz Wagner's minutes I don't care about. Those dudes are just going to play normal. Bull started normal first quarter, normal second quarter. All of the third quarter, didn't play the fourth quarter. Feel pretty good with 28 minutes there for Bull, but at the same time, like, he could very easily close. So 28 feels like a floor if we're not projecting Mo Bamba in. Mo Wagner, that's 2 games in a row now that he's going to play that rotation. I just don't know if he's going to close. I definitely need to take him down off of 32 minutes, though. I'm going to take him to 28. And then Fultz, probably set to play like 28 minutes. I think that seems fine. Cole Anthony played 24. I think he could close as well. So I don't really want to move that around all that much. Terrence Ross played the blowout run. So like I think the rest of this looks fine. Because you're only really going to play the starters. You're going to play Bull, Cole Anthony, Franz Wagner, Banchero, Mo Wagner, Fultz, if you're playing anybody. So I'm going to actually leave Orlando the way that it is. Does it matter? It does matter. Okay, so I think Paolo Banchero is a completely viable play today. And I think that Franz Wagner is also a completely viable play today. Now, I can't imagine wanting to go to Bull. He's all right. I think there's a little bit of value still in Mo Wagner on FanDuel at 4,300. Nothing too crazy here. Banchero and Wagner are the 2 guys that you're looking for. And honestly, I'm going to take Banchero down a minute to 34. I'm going to take Franz Wagner down a minute to 32. And really soften that. They're not guys that I want to go out of my way to get. On the Milwaukee side, feel free to play Giannis or Drew, but you're also not looking at the Bucks. So that's 2 games down. Oh, this next one should be a real treat, thanks to Trae Young. Yeah, hit that like button if you haven't done it already. 132 people in here is nice to see. Oklahoma City has a clean injury report, which means that they're probably a pain in the ass today. 35 minutes for Shea looks fine. 32 minutes for Giddey looks fine. 32 minutes for Dort. I'm going to make that 31. 25 for JRE. Yeah, I'm going to even go up to 26 now. And then I got 22 in for Poku. I got 26 in for Jalen Williams. Didn't start on Saturday. Toasted Biscuits, what's going on? Kenrich Williams played 18. Trey Mann, standard. Usman Jang, Baisley. I had this rotation pretty well good, and I don't really have any other changes that I would want to make. Now, Atlanta. We get to the Atlanta Hawks. No DeAndre Hunter, no John Collins, no Trent Forrest, no Justin Holiday. I guess we should assume that Trae Young is going to decide to play today after telling his coach essentially eat shit on Friday, which is wild, man. Wild. So I guess I'm going to gut this whole rotation since we do really need to think about it because we didn't get Trae with Hunter and Collins out. So I assume Trae Young is just back. Yeah, I ended up with so much Portland. S&P, that's a real weird one. I don't know if you ever went back and looked in lineup study or anything. Or at least for FanDuel, for me, it was weird. I jammed the shit out of Jeremy Grant, and he was like barely owned, and then was like less owned by 150 maxers than he was for like general public. It was wild. I assumed that like everybody would get to Jeremy Grant, and it just like never happened, and it was the opposite. I ended up feeling like I made a mistake there, but I don't know why. All right, so I'm going to give Trae Young 36 minutes. I'm going to give DeJounte Murray 37 minutes. Clint Capella appears to just be playing like 30 minutes a game. I don't trust that, but... So I'm going to go 29 Capella, 19 Okongwu. And now my assumption is that we get AJ Griffin and Jalen Johnson in the starting lineup. That's what makes the most sense to me. I had enough Simons, but like not as much as I wanted to. But yeah, I mean, Winslow and Grant were like my two highest exposed guys at that point. It was really weird. All right, so if this is the starting lineup, then, you know, we saw AJ Griffin play 34 minutes. I'm giving him 32. I just assume that he's going to get standard issue starter run. And then similar story for Jalen Johnson. I'm going to give him 31 since he did play 2 minutes less. And we're getting an extra guy back, but so I don't think we need to go too crazy there. Backup 4 is going to be what? I guess it's Jarrett Culver. I mean, or technically probably AJ Griffin. How tall is AJ Griffin? He's like oddly long, right? AJ Griffin 6'6". Jarrett Culver is 6'6". Those are really the only options. So, yeah. I'll go that direction. I'm going to go 24 to Culver. I think I'm going to go 22 again to Bogdanovich. And then 10 minutes to Aaron Holiday. Something like that. I think the most ridiculous part of Saturday is that I somehow managed to have shitty lineups while playing 0 shares of Rudy Gobert. All right, so now we've got the Hawks. So let's get the usage rates for these guys. When I guess we want to say John Collins off. Ooh, that's not, I was like, where'd the usage rate go? So basically, listen to this one. Because when John Collins is off, basically Trae Young plays without DeJounte Murray. This is like the entire sample of the 177 minutes that he has. But when Trae Young is on the floor without John Collins and without DeJounte Murray, he has a 45% usage rate. That's insane. It's truly insane. I guess I don't even need to really take John Collins off. Like, it's not like he doesn't. I can't look at if I say Trey or if I say John Collins off, and I keep DeJounte Murray on. Trae Young's sample is like nothing. Yeah, Trae Young has played 42 minutes with DeJounte Murray on and John Collins off. So he's played like 130 with John Collins off and DeJounte Murray off. So I'm going to say that Trae Young ends up with like a 34% usage rate, something in that range. Murray probably comes in at like 27.5 or something like that. Capella, 164 minutes with no John Collins, 16% usage rate. So he's just himself, like normal. AJ Griffin moving into the starting lineup with two high usage guys, like that's just not going to be helpful. Similar story for Jalen Johnson. These guys are going to look a lot different than they did the last time. I'm just going to take a look at them like this because I find them really difficult to project. But we are done that game. So for Atlanta, it's really hard to not want to go to a ton of this Hawks team. DeJounte Murray looks really good on both sites. Trae Young on DraftKings at 9,600 looks amazing. Jalen Johnson is still 3,700 on DraftKings. I think he looks amazing. I only have him at 0.82 fantasy points per minute, so I don't even think that I'm being aggressive. This is where you get your value. AJ Griffin still looks good, although his price is like reasonable on DraftKings. Still just 4,400 on FanDuel. And then Clint Capella, 6,400, 6,200. Looks really good. On the OKC side, this piece is easy. If you want to play Shea, by all means. I think Jeremiah Robinson Earl is interesting at 4,300 on DK. He gets the power forward eligibility on FanDuel, but he's a little overpriced. If you want Giddey, go for it, but that seems like a stretch on an 8-gamer. Now we go to Boston. The Boston Celtics are basically in a coin flip matchup against Toronto. I have a hard time believing this is going to be a game that looks good. We got a Q tag on Marcus Smart. Doubtful tag on Al Horford. Oh, this is a back-to-back? Yeah, Horford's not playing today. Okay, so we're going to take Horford out for the back-to-back. I guess we're going to assume that Marcus Smart plays, though. I'm going to start this rotation from scratch because I have to replace Horford. So, yeah, Horford's just not playing a back-to-back. That's easy. Like you would want him to, but he's just not going to. So, when we had Horford out on the 28th. Give me 1 second, guys. Alrighty, folks. Sorry about that. Had to take a quick break. I heard that my mom was awake, so I had to help her out a little bit. But we're all good. So let's get back to Boston. Appreciate you guys bearing with me on that one. So when Horford sat on the 28th, who started? I don't remember if they started one of those random goons. Okay, so Blake started, but I don't think that's like the real starter there, right? I don't think they're going to start Blake again. It's so tricky because of Jaylen Brown being out there too. Because with both guys out, it's obvious who's going to start. So, but now I think they can go like Grant Williams starting kind of makes the most sense here. Because it's Toronto. Like they're all a bunch of Grant Williamses. So that'd be Tatum, Brown, Smart, White. I'm going to say it's Grant Williams. But I do think we're going to get Blake. He's just not going to play a lot because he's Blake. So let's give Blake... I'm just going to start with 16 minutes. Grant Williams just plays a lot already. So I'm going to say that he plays 31. Interesting way to project those minutes with one left, but whatever. Let's get Derek White in for 25 minutes, which seems to be what he does. Let's get Marcus Smart in for his standard 34. Hopefully he's just playing. That allows me to give Malcolm Brogdon... Wow, Brogdon played 32 minutes with no Smart. That's interesting. I wouldn't have expected that to happen. I don't think that's a long-term thing, but I'm going to give him his 24. Obviously, we get Jason Brown and Jalen Tatum. I flipped their names. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. We're going to pop in for... I mean, honestly, in this matchup, I'm going 37 to both. 37 Tatum, 37 Brown. And then we need to get Sam Hauser in for, let's just say 18 to start. Which leaves me 18 more minutes. Is that just going to be Luke Cornett? Yeah, it probably is. I think that's going to be pretty simple. So we go 18 Cornett, 16 Blake Griffin. Just to make life easier, I'm going to go 17-17 just for my sanity. We'll take 17 minutes off of Grant Williams at the center. Move those over. We'll drop Tatum down 6. We'll drop Sam Hauser down 13. That'll all work. Rates, I don't think I really need to change for Horford being out. I think that's much ado about nothing. And I guess I just want Grant Williams' real usage rate. So let's just say with Al Horford off, what is Grant Williams' usage rate? 12%. Okay. So we don't have to get too crazy here. Done. It's not like he's going to look good. So Boston's done. I mean, none of this is going to... I don't expect any of this to look good. Yeah, I mean, that AD has basically a 0% chance to win the MVP. Something in the neighborhood of 0. It would take... He would have to basically drag the Lakers to the playoffs by himself. And even then, it ain't happening. No chance. No chance. Oh, Toronto. I hate talking about Toronto, man. No Precious, no Otto Porter, no Juancho Hernangomez. He is doubtful. Hannah, I appreciate you. I mean, as of right now, AD's 2,500 or 25 to 1 to win the MVP. That's behind Tatum, Luka, Giannis, Curry, Embiid, Durant, Jokic, and Devin Booker. He could never pass these guys. Like, Jason Tatum would have to be hurt. He could never pass Jason Tatum if Jason Tatum stays healthy, because Boston's going to run away with the East. I don't think that he could ever really pass Curry without the Lakers or without the Warriors being like really ultra bad. And then there's just like the Luka narrative. But Tatum looks, if Tatum can play the whole year and Boston's the 1 seed, I think it's going to be him. Just checks off all the correct narrative boxes. All right, let's finish off Toronto. All right, so we've got no Wancho, which I think makes it a little bit easier to get to like Thad Young minutes. So I'm going to bump him up to 14. Kem Birch plays like 6. I got Fred VanVleet in for 35. We're going to go to 36 there on VanVleet. Gary Trent seems pretty set at like that 28-minute mark. Are you being serious about the Lakers being a 3rd seed? They're not even they might not be a play-in team. The Lakers are 100 to 1 to win the West right now. It's just hilarious to think about. They are plus 170 to make the playoffs. Yeah, so they're not likely to make the playoffs. Is that a play? Is there a play-in one? To participate in the play-in, the Lakers to participate in the play-in are plus 155. Yikes. All right, I have 10 more minutes to go here. You know, we got Koloko in for the right minutes. If I'm the Lakers, they need to be smart and not trade those picks. Just eat the Russ contract for the year. You stink this year one way or the other. It's just silly. You got to remember, we're also banking, like, the only way that any of this works out is if LeBron James and Anthony Davis are healthy enough to get them there. If one of those guys are gone, that like this whole team is a house of cards just waiting to fall. Unless you're some dope like Drop Roses, like, oh, if LeBron goes out, at least they have Austin Reeves to slot into that spot in a 1-to-1 swap. Like, you got to think like that first for this to be smart. Again, the Blazers, Jazz, Kings, Mavs, Minnesota, and Clippers are all more likely to play in the play-in tournament than the Lakers. Where do these extra 10 minutes go? They're going to play somebody else, right? Like, they just do. They're just going to give it to a 100th dude. I guess Siakam probably should... I'm going to stay 34 minutes on Siakam. 33 to Barnes feels right, too. Let's go... We'll go up to 16 on Thad. Now we'll go to 18 on Thad. That leaves me 6 more minutes. I'm just going to throw those to Delano Banton, who I believe is available. Yes. Rates all stayed the same, so that's Toronto-Boston. Rick, you're just spouting out nonsense takes. Nonsense takes. If you look, I want to say this in the nicest way possible. Sportsbooks don't exist because they end up being wrong all the time. Even if you want to think like the number's not right, they're 100 to 1 to just simply win the West. Even if you want to say that's preposterous and make it 50 to 1, think about the scope of changing those two things. At some point in time, you need to think like, okay, my assumptions are incorrect. What am I thinking about that's wrong? Like, even if they flipped Russ and those 2 picks for the hypothetical Buddy Hield Miles Turner trade, which, by the way, is not going to happen, they're still like the 7th best team in the West. Gray-haired gaming. The nicest way possible for me exists on the Process show. This is a different... This show, everybody knows, this show's different. Look, Pascal Siakam's 9,500 on DraftKings and 10K on FanDuel. I like it. I like it. I like this Toronto team. Anunoby on DK, Van Vliet on DK, Siakam on DK. I think that all looks fine. For Boston, with no Horford, Jaylen Brown, 8,400, going straight back to it. If you want Tatum, Smart, Brogdon, I think that's all mildly reasonable. We're halfway done, folks. We're running long today, but that's fine. It's a Monday. You're coming off of having to update rotations for the week. It's a long one. It's also true. Oh, Katie, what's my wife doing? Whatever. Deal with that later. Yes. Morning Josh is your friend. Deeper dive Josh has no time for bullshit. 100% true. It is, guys, what are we doing? You guys are fighting math. If everything that everybody in YouTube chat was so true and everybody just put their money where their mouth was, you'd all be even poorer. You know what I'm saying? This shit is out there. If you are so confident that these things can happen, go put your money on it. The reason you don't is because they're terrible takes. It's out there, folks. It's out there. If you are so confident that they could be a top 5 seed in the West, then go bet it. You're going to get exceptional odds on that. And you're going to lose your money. What are we doing here? You can bet the Lakers right now, to make the playoffs at plus 170. We cannot be talking about them being a top 5 seed. They're not even a 50-50 shot to be in the playoffs themselves. It's just like, oh God. The personal biases are just so sad to see. You're like, you know what? I bet that place that takes millions and millions and millions of dollars of bets is just wrong. And because I'm a Lakers fan and I watch the Lakers, I know how good the Lakers are going to be. That should set off alarm bells and fires and every other notification possible in your brain. Ah, shit. Larry, good call, man. Yeah, you could bet that at BetMGM using the link in the description. Yeah, like saying you think they'll make the play-in is a very reasonable thing to say. Again, they're plus 155 to make the play-in. Like that's, we're talking about pretty close to a 50-50 proposition. S&P, very true. To be fair, I've been running the MJF gimmick before MJF. I'm better than you and you know it. All right, Philadelphia 76ers. This one's a little complicated. James Harden is questionable for today, as is George Niang. So we got to get Harden back. And that is just not ideal. So I think we're going to get James Harden back. James Harden has not played in over a month. I have no idea how many minutes to give this dude, but I'm going to give him 30. I'm going to say Shake plays the backup point guard run. Going to maintain 30 minutes for DeAnthony Melton. Obviously, Joel Embiid's minutes are pretty easy to give him 35. We'll give D-Ball Paul most of that backup run. Go back to PJ Tucker playing 20. Holy shit, his minutes are down too. We'll say 26. Guess I'm going to assume that George Niang plays his standard issue 20. And that we get Tobias Harris in for his 33. MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. There it is, Nicholas. All right, who are we missing then? House. It's probably the end of Korkmaz at this point. House plays 19 minutes. Make him. I don't know how many minutes I want to give to Shake Milton. Because if Harden's back, like, they don't need him. I mean, I guess he could play 24 and you give like 12 to Thibault, something like that. Where's James Harden hiding? Let's see. Let's do Tyrese Maxey off in games that Harden and Embiid played. Harden, 59 minutes, 36% usage. Yeah, I'm not doing that, but, 28 feels about right. And then assist rate, monstrous. Actually, I'm not going to make those changes. Nicholas, he's never leaving. All right, so that's Philly. I got to pick up the pace here. Let's go to Houston. Oh, revenge narrative for James Harden. Revenge narrative alert, folks. Harden to Houston. Eric Gordon back. Still no Jayshawn Tate. So this is a pretty easy fix. We pop Eric Gordon back into the middle for his 28 minutes. We bring Garrison Matthews back down to 12. And we take Josh Christopher's minutes away. Still need to clean out 7 more minutes, which will come from mostly Kenyon Martin. Take one more from Tari Eason. No, we won't take it from Tari Eason. We'll take it from Matthews. Nicholas, he's not actually gone in 2024. That contract's already been signed. He's not going anywhere. This is a storyline. He would not be talking about it on AEW television if it weren't something that's already handled. You don't book storylines about how your champ is going to leave. That's not how that one's going to work. There is no doubt that he's going to be around. All right, for the Houston Rockets. It's sort of just like you can play anybody on DraftKings except for Eric Gordon's 3,900. I know he's bad, but wow. Wow. Yeah, look, they are not letting MJF come into the ring and talk about how he's a free agent in 2024 and he's going to go to the WWE unless that's not a thing that's happening. It's not like he's in the UFC talking about how he's going to go to Bellator and none of it's like, that's just not. He's never allowed to say that on Tony Khan's television unless it's not possible. That's just like not how it's going to work. Green, Porter, Smith, Şengün all look basically identical on DraftKings. I think Jalen Green is your best option on FanDuel at 6,400. I had a ton of him a couple days ago. We got to keep it moving here, guys. We're already up to 734, but we're having fun here today. 171 people in here. We have 70 likes. For the 100 of you that haven't hit it yet, hit that thumbs up, folks. If we can, let's get up to 100. I mean, the WWE is like a community theater, if I'm stealing the words of Joe Lanza at Voices of Wrestling. They're not the same. It's not the same thing. AEW is more like the wrestling that I personally grew up with in the 90s and early 2000s. It's just more fun. WWE is a soap opera. It's a company that pretends to be a wrestling company. It's weird. Miami Heat, 2-point underdogs in Memphis, 226 total. Q tag on Butler, Q tag on I'm just going to assume that it's everybody normal. I can't screw around with this team. Why did Max Strus play 21 minutes on Friday? So 36 minutes for Lowry, sure. Honestly, that should be 37. Holy hell. We're going to go 37 to Lowry. Duncan Robinson, I don't know if is in the rotation. 34 to Bam. Nope. 35 to Bam. Hero's just playing like 37 minutes a game. I'm going to go up to 36 there. Jimmy Butler came back, played 35 minutes. So, I'm going to go straight to 35 on Butler. I mean, 30 minutes for Max Strus seems right. What am I missing? Where else would they go? Like, is Haywood Highsmith just in the rotation? I guess Haywood Highsmith's just in the rotation now. So let's take Max Strus. So it's going to be Lowry, Hero, Butler, X, Bam in a closing lineup. Probably Martin, but who knows? So let's take Caleb Martin, 28. Let's take Max Strus to 26. Get Duncan Robinson out of there. I can only give Haywood Highsmith 12 minutes. I don't have the minutes to go around otherwise. Nicholas, me? Do you think it's a 0% work? Punk's done. Philly best play breakdown is Embiid and nobody else, basically, if Harden's back. It's hard to say because of Harden. If Harden's back, you're probably not going to anything from Philly because everybody's overpriced. We're going to take a look at that Miami rotation first. Let's look at Memphis now. For Memphis, We're getting dangerously close to getting Desmond Bane back. Philip, you're crazy. Sting is exceptional right now. That dude comes out like once every 2 months and takes bumps that no one should. He's actually looked good. He doesn't need to go anywhere. All right, Bane, still 4 more games. Jaren Jackson Jr. doubtful for rest. So they played yesterday. They haven't had a back-to-back with him out. I mean, I'm obviously not changing anything there. We don't know the status on Steven Adams, who did miss yesterday's game. So what I'm going to actually just leave this Memphis rotation as I have it, because I don't know what to do with Steven Adams. So we just need to get that injury report. So this is just Memphis as Memphis. Standard issue Memphis. Yeah, like they don't put Sting in real programs, so it's perfect. Ryan, I watched them both pretty aggressively. I did a little bit of wrestling content before and during a little bit, at least at the beginning, for Voices of Wrestling. So if you ever want to go there, Rich and Joe, great guys. If you ever want to check out their content, love the pod, love the flagship. Wow. Okay, so if everybody's in for Memphis, like if Jaren Jackson plays and Steven Adams plays, they all look solid. They all look solid. Morant, Brooks, Conchar, Jackson. I'd get to a lot of it. Now, this team could just be insane today. Like, imagine if Jaren Jackson sits for rest on a back-to-back, and then Steven Adams sits as well. We're jamming Brandon Clark and Xavier Tillman and Santi Aldama. Like, this Memphis is such a swing piece. It's just not something that we can talk about right now. So, Nicholas, they did a New Japan ebook for a while, and I did advanced stats for the book. I tracked all of every match in New Japan for a couple of years, and we had like win-loss records for each guy in singles matches and tag matches and like who took the pins and stuff. I did an article about Dragon Gate in a similar way. I think we put something together about like Survivor Series eliminations. I had fun. All right, 2 games to go. Phoenix and Dallas. Let's close this out. I'm gonna kill the wrestling talk now for myself. Let's close this out with NBA. Phoenix Suns at the Dallas Mavs. Suns are 3.5-point dogs in Dallas. 221 total. Honestly, Chris, I wasn't the biggest, like, at that time, before I get to this game, I wasn't the biggest New Japan guy, but like at that point in time, I was, that like Okada, Tanahashi, like peak era. But prior to that, I was a really big All Japan guy in like the late 90s, early 2000s. I was doing all like tape trading and stuff for like Kobashi, Kawada, Misawa tapes and stuff when I was in like middle school and high school. So I'd be just getting like a package of VHS tapes from some random dude. All right, Phoenix Suns. I got to kill the wrestling talker. We'll never get through this. Q tag on Chris Paul. Wait, did they play yesterday? Okay, they played yesterday. I don't think that's a real Q tag on Chris Paul, considering he's been out for a month, but I guess it could be. Is Chris Paul set to come back today? Is that real? I can't even Google Chris Paul now to see if there's any notes because of this stupid Kanye shit. Okay. Per Dwayne Rankin yesterday, Chris Paul is close to returning. I'm not projecting him in today yet, but I'm 37 just in case anybody's curious. I think I'm just going to leave this rotation here because we just don't know anything about Phoenix right now. I don't know how real the Chris Paul potential Q tag is. It's all Josh, it's all Excel and SQL database. Yeah, I think I just have to leave Phoenix as is here. We're getting those Josh Okogie minutes in place of who? I guess Dwayne Washington. Makes me think we're getting more Booker Point. Ish Wainwright in for 19. Where am I? Who didn't play? Damian Lee, 24. Sarge, 22. Shamit, 20. Center split's fine. I guess that's right. Not much we can do for Phoenix right now, unfortunately. All right, so for Dallas, Q-Tag Christian Wood. Did they play yesterday? Nope. Okay, so this is real. Q-Tag Christian Wood, Q-Tag Kemba Walker, which I still haven't heard anything about him being actually ready to go. So I think for Dallas, I don't have to make any changes. We've got Luka in for 36. We've got Dorian Finney-Smith in for 34. Dinwiddie in for 30. Christian Wood in for 27. I guess his minutes have started to ramp up a little bit. We'll take him up to 28. I got Maxey in for 26. That seems fine. I guess Tim Hardaway's minutes are up at least a little bit, but I got him in for 30 already, so that should be fine. Yeah, I don't really have any changes that I want to make to this rotation either. So I think this one's pretty cut and dry. We like Luke. I'm happy to get to Luka if you can afford him. I think Tim Hardaway Jr. at 4,600 on DraftKings still looks good. $6,600 Christian Wood, if he's available, I think also looks pretty good in this spot. And then for Phoenix, assuming it's the normal Phoenix rotation, the guy that I like the most is Mikal Bridges, just because he plays infinite minutes. Now let's close it out. Final game. The most interesting game on today's slate. The Indiana Pacers are 10-point dogs in Golden State. 241 total. That is the highest total on the slate by 10 points and like 15 over the second. We got no Tyrese Halliburton. They're coming off a back-to-back. This is going to be wild. Because if they keep it close, and they shouldn't. So we got Nesmith, Nembhard, Healed, Jalen Smith, and Turner yesterday. So let's start it off. Aaron Nesmith. Okay, we had no TJ McConnell yesterday as well. And we don't know his status officially yet. So we're going to need that information, and we won't get that till 4:30. So let's just go with the same rotation we got yesterday. So we're going to go. Nesmith played 24 minutes. That seems about right. I'm going to go to 28. There wasn't a lot of meat left on his bone yesterday, so to speak. Andrew Nembhard played 37 minutes. I'm just going straight to 35 here. Miles Turner, minutes should be pretty obvious. Like, he's just going to play 30, 29. I'll go 29 to Miles Turner. And then I'll assume Isaiah Jackson is getting most of that backup run. We'll go 17 to Jackson. We'll get Jalen Smith in. His minutes have come down, but like you'd think that this looks a little bit better in a competitive matchup. He didn't play at all in the fourth quarter because the game was over. It just didn't simply go well for him either. But, I think we got to go to 26 minutes. Mathurin obviously has to get like a massive bump here too. It's weird that he didn't start. That's kind of stupid. But, you know, feels like 30 minutes for Mathurin. We got to get Buddy Hield in for 33, 32. I just don't know if this game stays competitive. I'll go 32 to Buddy Hield. We'll get O'Shea Brissett. Actually, who's next off the bench? James Johnson came in, played 4 minutes. Weird. We got O'Shea Brissett, played like 26 off the bench. I actually think that that's like a pretty reasonable rotation for him. I'm going to give him 24. It leaves me 19 minutes for Trevelyan Queen. Played that in the second half. So I'm going to go to like, 6 minutes to James Johnson and like 13 to Queen, who I don't have on this team right now. We'll get Queen in for 13. Actually do need to pull the rates for this team. It's not the way that I wanted to close this one out. We're going to end up going the full hour and a half. And then we'll say TJ McConnell off, Tyrese Halliburton off. This cannot be a big sample. No, oh my God. Both of those guys off. It's 71 minutes for Nembhard. That's insane. So obviously we need to leave TJ McConnell alone, and it's just got to be Halliburton off. In that case, wow, Benedict Mathurin has 33% usage. So I want to say, let's see, that it would be Buddy Hield. Let's say Mathurin, Jalen Smith, Miles Turner. 1, 2, Jalen Smith, Miles Turner. I don't think I need to do anybody else. Let's do at least 3 of those guys on the floor. Oh man, that really just eats that sample. At least 2 of those guys on the floor. All right. Mathurin, giant usage bump. I'm going up to 28% for Mathurin. McConnell we'll figure out later. Miles Turner also gets a pretty sizable usage bump. I'm going to take him up to like 23. He's a center, so I don't want to go too crazy. Buddy Hield, oddly enough, doesn't get the giant bump you would expect. Assist rates are the things that I'm most interested in, though. Mathurin just doesn't. TJ McConnell gets all of the assists. Nembhard with a pretty sizable assist bump. Let's take it up to 9. Rebounding shouldn't really change here, so that's Indiana, assuming McConnell is still out. Now for Golden State, the Warriors, not on a back-to-back, which is nice. So we have their actual injury report. Q-tag on Wiggins, Q-tag on Poole. We're just putting everybody in here. I got to gut the rotation because I didn't have Clay from the last game. So we're going to go 34 to Steph. We're going to go 33 to Clay. We're going to go 32 to Wiggins. We're going to go 32 to Draymond. We're going to get Looney in for his 23. The rest of this should be pretty easy to handle. So we'll get JaMychal Green in for his pretty standard 10 now. We'll get Anthony Lamb in for what seems to be his standard 15. Lets me get 18 to Kuminga. We get Jordan Poole in for 26. Gives me 17 for Dante DiVincenzo. Done. Rates certainly need to pull. Now, Golden State could look a lot different later if we get those, if we get no Poole, no Wiggins. Things are going to look a little bit different, but for right now, games that Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Poole, and Draymond all played. That is a 5-game sitch. Delete. Shout out Matt Hardy. Why is this? There we go. All right, Steph. We'll go 31% usage rate. We'll go Clay. 24.5. Jordan Poole. 25.5. Wiggins. 21. Draymond. 13. Kevon Looney. 11. Assist rate for Steph. 9.5. Don't really think that I need to change anybody else's. Everybody else should be stable. Rebounds, I know that's up for Steph. We'll take him up to 8.5. Not going to change anybody else. Final game. Stop me if you've heard this before on this show every single time. Klay Thompson, 5,900 on DraftKings, is my favorite Golden State Warrior. Similar story on FanDuel at 5,900. So that looks good. If you want to go to Klay, look, like the Warriors are just going to look really good because the matchup against the Pacers is exceptional. There's so many fantasy points to go around. On the Pacers side, did I accidentally type something crazy for Andrew Nembhard? No, he's just amazing. Okay, so $4,200 Andrew Nembhard is the best play on DraftKings today. It's not close. Like, not even remotely close. He is insane. He's probably the best play on FanDuel today, too, at 4,900. If he's going to play massive minutes as like a 0.95 guy, yeah, that's where we're going. But healed. Everybody looks good. This whole game, everybody looks good. I don't like Neesmith for 4,500 on FanDuel, but he's 3,600 on DraftKings and has the good MPE. We're playing all. This is the ultimate late night hammer. Get ready for that. Now, it is time to run some crunches. Guys, hit the like button if you haven't done it yet. I hope that you have. I got to look and see how many we have at this point. So for right now, we're up to how many likes? 84. Come on, guys. We need 16 more to get up to 100. Let's get that done now. We're about to run our crunches. We need to see who are the optimal plays for today on FanDuel and DraftKings. But before we get to anything, bang, right there, 2 free months of Stokastic Plus Platinum, along with a risk-free bet of up to $1,000 if you want to check out BetMGM. Link is in the description right now, folks. And the World Cup offer is done. We don't have to worry about that one any longer. It's gotten a little bit simpler. You just get a risk-free bet of up to $1,000 at BetMGM and 2 free months of Stokastic Plus Platinum. So please, click that link in the description. Head on over. Make a qualified deposit. You're just going to get the goods now, folks. I'm telling you. This one's easy. I don't have to tell you to bet on Brazil today. A risk-free bet of up to $1,000 should be exactly what you're looking for. Link in the description. You got to be in a legal betting state. You got to be new to BetMGM. All right, crunches. Here we go. FanDuel Optimal. First one up on the docket. Let's close that window. Let's move that down here. All right, FanDuel Optimal. I don't have a great feel for this either, other than the late night hammer game going to make up a lot of this. 336.11. So this is the optimal by 0.5. DeJounte Murray, Terry Rozier, Benedict Mathurin, Andrew Nembhard, Jalen Johnson, Kelly Oubre, Giannis, Mo Wagner, and Clint Capella. I'll be honest, I like it. We do see Luka make his way into the optimal. So it's Giannis here, Luka here. We get Ja Morant in the third one. You can get to one pay-up option. Who that is a different question. Now, our rankings. Andrew Nembhard is going to be your number one contender today. That probably won't even change if TJ McConnell is in. It just, like, McConnell might look better, but Nembhard is going to look great no matter what. To me, Terry Rozier is number 2, given the amount of minutes he could play at 7,100. And then you get the pack of Atlanta guys. DeJounte Murray, Jalen Johnson, AJ Griffin. You get round out the bottom of the top 10 with Jalen Smith, Clint Capella, Benedict Mathurin, Kelly Oubre, and Buddy Hield. Now, on the DK side, what do we see for DK? Obviously, Nembhard is going to be at the top here because that price is stupid. But somebody else had a broken price on DraftKings. I can't remember who it was. So optimal lineups on DK. Wow, that you don't normally see either. 300.63. This is the optimal by 2.26 fantasy points. That's nuts. Trae Young, Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre, Jalen Johnson, Clint Capella, Andrew Nembhard, Benedict Mathurin, Klay Thompson. Wild lineup. Wild lineup. I like it, though. I like it. Nembhard is the no-brainer. Jalen Johnson, 3,700. Also a no-brainer. All right. Power rankings on DraftKings before we get out of here. Andrew Nembhard, number 1 with a cannon, not a bullet. It's just not even remotely close. Everything's a little blurry after that. We do have like it does seem like it's going to be Jalen Johnson 2, Kelly Oubre 3, but it could be Mathurin as well. It's going to be Nembhard number 1, no one in the ballpark. Then we get Jalen Johnson, Benedict Mathurin, Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre, top 5. O'Shea Brissett, Trae Young, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Jaylen Brown, rounding out that top 10. There we go, folks. We're going full screen, closing it out. 90 minutes. Probably a little bit too much wrestling talk for most people, but what are you going to do? We got into it. It was fun. Great slate to break down. Mondays always take a little bit longer. You got 2 days of rotations that you need to work into, and you kind of want to start everything from scratch. So 3-game slate tomorrow, your standard big one on Wednesday, another 3-gamer on Thursday. So we're able to manage Tuesdays and Thursdays pretty easily. You get me on the strategy show with Adam today. Nothing after that. Contenders videos will be out in a bit. I'm on the strategy show all week this week, actually. I'm actually on Friday as well. But that's it, guys. I think we're done here. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. Keep your eye out for Contenders and for the NBA Strategy Show. It's been great having you guys here today. I always love kicking off the week with you. So, without further ado, this was The Process.